Hi everyone, welcome back to Bethany Urban Farm. This is Coral, and today I wanted to show you some of my favorite spring blooming perennials. So we're going to walk around my garden and I'll talk you through the different genus and species and cultivars of my favorite spring blooming perennials. So this is an azalea. Azaleas are closely related to rhododendron, but rhododendrons are much bigger usually and they have much bigger leaves. These leaves are really small and dainty and it almost has the form of a bonsai. They also have azaleas have smaller flowers, but usually more flowers. And you can get varieties of azalea that are reblooming, so they'll bloom sporadically through the summer as well as in the spring. This beautiful monster is my CLEMATIS ALPINA. I love these flowers. They're just so magical. They look like little fairy hats. Another great thing about CLEMATIS ALPINA is that they have beautiful seed heads. The seed heads are like little truffula trees. I'll see if I can find. So this one isn't a seed head yet, but it will turn into like a big poof. Right now you can just see the petals have dropped. Another type of clematis that blooms in the late spring are the large-flowered hybrid clematis. This is a variety called Cherokee, and it blooms much better than any other large-flowered hybrid that I've tried. It's just covered in blooms, and it blooms for a really long period of time. It actually bloomed all the way into October last year, which was just amazing. Another one of my favorite spring blooming perennials are lilacs, of course. Is very different to the one you can see growing in the background there. So this one has much smaller leaves. They're very dainty leaves, and then also very dainty little flowers that are a deeper pink than most lilacs. This is an example of a sucker. These really tall branches that are coming out here. I actually left these because my partner really liked them. She thought they were really rebellious and nice, so I left them for her, but I will be cutting them after they bloom, just because you can see that they kind of mess up the shape of the plant. So you can see the plant follows this nice triangle shape, and then you have these big suckers coming off to one side. So I'll prune them right there, and that'll maintain the shape of the overall shrub. One of my absolute favorites is Anemone blanda. You've heard me talk about this before. It's just wonderful. They're looking a little sad right now because they close up when it's cloudy. They close up like this. It's really cute. And then whenever they have direct sun, they will open up. And they're a beautiful shade of bluish lilac. I planted these from bulbs in the fall, and this is just from like one bulb. I'm really impressed with it. And right next to it I have a Choisya Tornata AZTEC Gold. They can get really stressed in the winter, and you can see that mine lost all of its bottom leaves and just has these little pom-poms on the top. That's because we had some pretty major flooding in the backyard this winter, so it got really stressed, and now it is trying to reproduce by blooming like crazy. But it just has a lovely, sweet orange scent. One of its common names is mock orange, not to be confused with the other mock orange, which is Philadelphus. Here's my other lilac. This one has big, beautiful flowers. And this is the one that I rescued from that house that got knocked down. So I never had a plant tag for it because I just dug it up out of the ground. They just smell amazing. They're great flowers to have by your bedside. I've just cut some and put them by my bedside. And they smell so relaxing. So this is what I call the cottage garden. It's the front yard, and there are a couple different components. So first we have the rock garden with the lovely peony and the rose bush. And then the cottage garden wraps around the side of the yard up into the front border with these two teepees in the middle. And then the raised bed flower gardens. So the spring blooming perennials that I have in the rock garden are this aubrietta. I have a rock rose. I have an ornamental strawberry, Fragaria lipstick. And then of course, one of my favorites, Aqualegia or Columbine. And then one that has very minute flowers is this SAXIFRAGA Primuloides. And it has these wonderful little flowers here that are just pretty magical. I feel like I say that everything is magical in the garden. Oh my goodness, I just noticed that this Dryas octopetala is flowering. I coveted this plant for a while and finally found one at the University of British Columbia Botanical Garden. They are just lovely alpine plants with these beautiful rosaceae flowers. Oh, it's so magical. I don't know what it is that draws me to them, but you know, there's just some plants that just really, you really connect with, and that was this for me. I have a little alpine strawberry here that's edible, and then I also have an ornamental strawberry here. The cultivar is called Lipstick, and it's a beautiful hot pink. This color that you don't really see in nature all that often, especially not in the early spring. I guess it's more mid-spring now. It's covered in flowers. It doesn't make fruit, but it's just a beautiful ornamental plant. This rock rose will have big white flowers in a couple weeks. You can see it's covered in buds. The buds look pink right now, but they'll open to be a white. Now this guy is lovely, and I forget his name, but he's another cushion plant. Just forming a lovely little mound over these rocks. Beautiful butter yellow flowers. I've just brought all of my houseplants outside about a week ago, and they're doing pretty well. So coming into this little garden patch here, I have my camas lilies here, which are a wonderful spring blooming perennial, and some other native plants like this GEUM. GEUMs grow wild in the forests in the Pacific Northwest where I live. And these ones are Leonard's variety, and they're a beautiful peachy pink. And here is a camas lily. I planted this camas lily as a plant that I got from a plant sale, and then I planted a couple other ones from bulbs. So this one's a little bit more established. And then you can see there's one there, 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 there. So I'm hoping this will fill out into a lovely little camas meadow in the next couple of years. You can see this bud is just forming here. And then in this border, one of my absolute favorite spring blooming perennials are these Anemone de Cayenne blue poppy. They're just wild. They're so blue. And I have one that's called Bordeaux as well, and it's a deep red color, but I haven't seen it popping up quite yet. Here is another GEUM. This is a KNAUTIA MACEDONICA. And then later in the summer, this garden will have poppies, Rudbeckia, echinacea, and gladiolus. This is a Clematis montana, and I've been seeing these around for a couple of years, and I hadn't managed to get one for my own garden, but I got this one last summer, and this is the first time that I've seen it bloom, and it is beautiful. This is the TETRAROSE. See these beautiful pink petals. I won't force you to open yet. It's quite vigorous. It's grown pretty much all of these leaves just this spring. It's a nice vigorous shoot. So my plan with this is to have it cover this trellis, and then I also have another large flowered hybrid clematis mixed in. You can see the leaves are slightly different. This one is called Niobe, and it's just mixed in here because it blooms later than the Clematis montana. So the Clematis montana will bloom and then leave some nice green leaves, and then the deep red flowers of the Niobe clematis will follow suit against the montana leaves after it's finished blooming. And then this is my last clematis that I will show you. This is the first clematis that I ever got. It's called Twilight, and it is very large flowered. The Cherokee has a little bit smaller flowers, but more of them, and this one has fewer flowers, but they're bigger. It's just so exciting when they're budding up, and it's like they're gonna open any day now. This one's doing really well. It's very healthy. And they will pretty much climb all by themselves. You don't really need to help them that much. Is it for my spring blooming perennials. Thank you for being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.